Quantum Foods unbundled from Pioneer Foods to list as a separate entity on the JSE this morning. Joining us at the desk is the company's CEO, Hennie Lourens, who's here at the desk. Hennie, exciting day for you today. Saw you blowing that horn. How did it go? And perhaps why now? We're seeing a lot of listings with Foods. Rhodes was just last week.
Yes, it was indeed exciting, and it was a fascinating morning. People made us feel very welcome. So it was far less intimidating than I anticipated. But yeah, it went well. A lot of buyers, less sellers, which I assume is good for the business. The question as to why now, look, Quantum Foods has been part of Pioneer since 1961 in various shape, manner or forms. And 2 years ago, the board came to the conclusion that the direction that, the strategic direction of Pioneer and the strategic direction of Quantum are perhaps not the same direction. Pioneer wants to be a focused, branded business, whereas Quantum Foods is more in basic agricultural and supplying basic proteins into South Africa, and also with a very nice opportunity to move into Africa.
What's not clear though, why should that, if it's worked for so long, why should it not be working any longer?
I think there are 2 or 3 issues. The one is, capital deployment. Who gets what? When you really are a branded food business, you are less inclined to invest into farms, for an example. So that became difficult. And then also shareholders were saying, but we would like a choice. Some shareholders are keen to look at a long-term agricultural play, and others are more keen to look at a branded food business. And those were the 2 main reasons for us to decide to unbundle Quantum Foods and give it the opportunity to stand on its own feet.
Hennie, if we look at the rationale behind the unbundling, one of the reasons was the expansion drive on the African continent. Where exactly? All
right, we have 2 businesses in Africa today, 2 manufacturing or farming businesses, one in Zambia and one in Uganda. The Zambian business is actually a pretty big business. We have breeders, we sell day-old chicks and day-old broilers. We have animal feed manufacturing there, and then we're the 2nd largest egg producer of table eggs in Zambia. We have a farm in the Copperbelt which supplies that area. We intend investing further. We're busy with a project to invest more money in Zambia. So that's one of our big focus areas. The other is Uganda. And in Zambia we've been since 1996. So we've been there for a long time. In Uganda, we bought a business there in the year 2000. So we're also there for a long time. It's primarily a breeder business, but we're also investing into the eggs business further down the value chain.
Let's look at the structure of the listing, the mechanics of the listing, what price you went in at, and you say more buyers than sellers early on. That's encouraging. Are there majority shareholders still? Did you sell a lot of shares before you came to the exchange? How liquid will the share be?
It was in listing by way of introduction, so there wasn't a share price. We didn't go to the market to raise capital, and it wasn't one-on-one unbundling. In other words, for each Pioneer Food share that you had, you received a Quantum Food share, and the price of the share is purely determined by the trade, the first trade of the day. And so we're not raising capital.
So what was it when you came up here?
I think it was about 525.
525.
Okay. Yes.
Hennie, I really do have an obsession with the African expansion, and I know I've asked you about where you are. You said Zambia, you spoke about Uganda, you said you're going to be applying money in. One of the reasons you said you were unbundling was to decide who gets what. So how much money is going to be going into Zambia? And we do have 2 countries now, and you're looking at East specifically. Is that where you're planning on staying, or are we talking West perhaps at some point?
Look, we've got a foothold in those 2 countries, and we're investing close on 40 million rand in both those countries in the next 2 years. That's already been approved, and we're busy spending that money. But we're investigating other countries. There are it's interesting. There are many opportunities in the egg business, and we are really the only listed egg company in South Africa. There are opportunities in Nigeria. There are opportunities in Mozambique. Ethiopia is I think there are great opportunities. Tanzania. So they all are available, and it's a matter of making sure that you have the requisite raw materials. It's making sure that you have the right local partners, and making sure that you have the right assets in those countries. So all these countries that I've mentioned are on our radar screen, and our goal is to really in the next 12 months have another country, even if it's on a very, very small basis, but build from there. Things in Africa, investments don't return in year 1 or 2. It takes a lot of time, but we think being an agricultural business, if you've got a farm, you've got a farm. You can farm for a long time, and our business is well suited for the African expansion.
Well, definitely exciting times. Congratulations on your listing. Thanks to Hennie Lourens. He's the CEO of Quantum Foods.